Before the lights, before the costume, before the 20 million tickets sold, there was just a dream, a dangerous gamble, an ambitious plan to take a form of dance once relegated to the corner pub and place it on the biggest stages in the world. Folks, you are listening to Center Stage, the podcast that takes you behind the curtain and into the hard shoe studio of the most successful dance show in history. Lord of the Dance is an Irish dance show and dance production that was created, choreographed, and produced by Irish-American dancer Michael Flatley, who also took a starring role in the production. Now, Flatley is credited with reinventing traditional Irish dance by incorporating new rhythms, syncopation, and upper body movements, which were previously absent from the dance. He created and performed in Irish dance shows such as Riverdance, Lord of the Dance, Feet of Flames, Celtic Tiger Live, and Michael Flatley's Christmas Dance Spectacular. Now, fun fact here, all of these shows have played to more than 60 million people in 60 different countries and have grossed more than $1 billion each. Now, Michael Flatley found his first fame starring in Riverdance, but he left the show in late 1995 due to conflicts over creative control. He dreamed of and put into action a plan of putting together a dance show capable of playing in both arenas and stadiums instead of traditional theaters. Now, Lord of the Dance had its first preview shows at the Point Theatre in Dublin from June of 28th to July 1st of 1996. Now, the show presented a loose mythological story of good versus evil set in a Celtic land called Planet Ireland. Now, the central conflict is between the Lord of the Dance and the Dark Lord, Don Dorcha, with a secondary theme of a love triangle between Sweris and Morgan. Now, the story is told entirely through dance, music, and a strong visual spectacle. Now, Flatley envisioned the show with a full-throttle rock concert feel, which broke from the traditional austerity of Irish dance with faster, more percussive, and more physically expressive dancing than anything that had been seen before. The choreography and costuming were often considered sexier and more modern than previous Irish dance productions, and it featured elaborate lighting, massive sound amplification of the taps, and an impressive set design. Now, the premiere, well, it was a massive success with the audience, particularly the Irish crowd, who were reportedly losing their minds at the energetic and rule-breaking spectacle. The show immediately went on to 4 sold-out weeks at the London Coliseum and began a journey that would see it playing in arenas worldwide, ultimately achieving unparalleled commercial success for any dance production of the time. Well, by the summer of 1999, Flatley signed a contract with Disney for Lord of the Dance to perform at Epcot in Walt Disney World. Now, the show played at the American Gardens Theater, which is an outdoor amphitheater located in the American Adventure Pavilion. Now, the show ran as a summer blockbuster series, which was performed as the best of Michael Flatley's Lord of the Dance. Basically, a condensed version of the full arena show, typically lasting about 30 minutes. Now, the performances were handled by one of the show's several professional touring companies, comprising of dancers who were veterans from the US and European touring companies. The show was highly successful and was aggressively marketed by Disney as a world-class, high-energy presentation. And it was significant because it placed the show in a major American theme park, introducing the spectacle of Irish dance to an entirely new demographic of family vacationers and further cementing the Lord of the Dance franchise as a global entertainment powerhouse. Well, after 2 years of touring, Flatley then created Feet of Flames, an expanded version of Lord of the Dance. Now, the first Fleet of Flames concert was made as a one-off performance of the original show, held before 25,000 people in London's Hyde Park. Now, the production merged 2 touring troupes of the original show, totaling almost 100, and added an all-male choir and a live band. The show's stage, measuring 180 feet wide, borrowed set designs from the original Lord of the Dance, but then added multiple levels for the finale. Now, Flatley had hinted at the time that this could be his farewell live performance, which added to the event's sense of grandeur and importance, though he would later go on to perform in several more iterations of the show, as well as new productions. Well, by June of 2005, introducing his next production, known as Celtic Tiger, which portrayed the oppression of the Irish people through the ages, and the tiger symbolized the awakening of their spirit and their struggle for freedom. This production was a significant event in his career, making his return to the stage after a 4-year retirement, and presenting a show with a much more overt political and historical theme than his previous works. Well, the show, as you might have guessed, was an epic masterpiece that fused Irish history with music and dance. Now, the show itself included dramatic, sometimes controversial segments based on real-world events, such as the famine, Bloody Sunday, and the 1916 Rising. Now, the first half depicted Irish history and struggle, while the second half celebrated the Celtic Tiger, which was the rise of modern Ireland and the experience of Irish immigration to America, including highly conceptual numbers like Capone and cowboy cheerleaders. Critics were more divided. Some praised the dancers' sheer skill and the emotional depth of the historical segments, and others found the show's blend of history, patriotism, and modern dance genres to be overly ambitious, disjointed, and at times tasteless or politically simplistic. Well, in April 2010, Flatley announced that he would be returning to headline a brand new revision of the Lord of the Dance show. Now, this iteration of the show remained the same as the 1996 version, but it didn't use the original castle courtyard stage set design, rather upgrading it to a modern design consisting of 7 erect rectangular screens with a set of stairs also acting as a screen. New lighting was introduced, and aircraft landing lights were used as stage lights to add to the effect. Now, the reunion tour also featured updated and redesigned costumes from the original show, as well as elements from Feet of Flames 1998, such as a live band chanting monks and the notable Feet of Flames solo. Well, the tour focused on large arena venues across the UK, Ireland, and continental Europe, with dates in cities like London and Dublin's O2 arenas, Sheffield, Manchester, and several cities in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Now, Flatley at that time stated that he was excited to dance again, and that this time it was a victory lap for the loyal fans who had supported him from the beginning. Flatley was joined by a 40-member cast, some of whom were original dancers from the show's 1996 debut. The 2010 return tour was hugely successful, demonstrating the enduring popularity of Michael Flatley and the Lord of the Dance brand, and serving as a bridge to his later arena-based productions. Well, in 2014, Flatley created his final production. Or was it? Titled Dangerous Games, a revised spin-off of, well, you guessed it, Lord of the Dance. While maintaining 50% of the numbers from the original show, new numbers were introduced, featuring dancing robots, new songs, new music with Gerald Fahey, and rescores of Ronan Hardiman's pieces. Now, the production itself embraced groundbreaking technology and special effects, including state-of-the-art screen backgrounds and productions that were used to create dramatic settings, ranging from idyllic Celtic lands with unicorns and rainbows to more sinister dark caves and icy realms. Now, one of the most talked about new scenes was Robo-Jig, which featured dancers dressed as glowing cyborg-like robots performing traditional step dancing. Now, Flatley's role in this full show was largely ceremonial and supervisory. The title role of the Lord of the Dance was performed by his hand-picked proteges, who were all world champion Irish dancers. So, in essence, Dangerous Games was designed to bring the classic Irish dance show into the 21st century, making it louder, faster, and more visually spectacular for a new generation of both arena and theater audiences. And guys, that's all the time we have for this week's journey into the heart of Michael Flatley's Lord of the Dance. Now, if this conversation has you ready to book a ticket, well, check the show notes for the current tour dates. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us. And if you get your phone to tap out a 5-star review at anything remotely closely to Michael Flatley's record-breaking speed of 35 taps per second, well, then we will personally send the little spirit to bless your home. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining, and take care.